And so I am super excited, and I will be here for the next few weeks and more. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm telling you, like, I'll be here as much as you need me to be. And hopefully to roll out a worldwide campaign, really helping people to understand. You're going to see a lot of people trying to copy everything that we are doing, okay? From shape and, liquid biocell and everything else that we produce. And I will tell you that there's a secret sauce into winning, right? It's the innovation at its root, not a copycat. It's also the culture and the values that come with it when it comes to developing products. And that's been my philosophy all along. I've developed thousands of products, formulas coming from contract manufacturing and developing products. And so you don't ever need to worry about anything. In fact, you go on the offense, okay, and make sure people know who the original is and why the original is what it is, okay? And you go with fierce determination because it is important to fight for that place. It is actually it's actually very, very concerning, the intelligence of a consumer that people have like very little respect for when they come out with copycat products and things like that. So tonight, because I am limited a little bit on time today, but I did dress up for all of you, just to make sure that you knew that I absolutely love you. And I can't wait to spend more and more time with you. And hopefully we'll have an event in Australia. We'll plan something with the team, and we will make sure that we make sure we educate people on everything that they know. I owe many people on this call very, very special thanks. One of whom is here right now, Isha Dwight, who has really led a lot of charge when it comes to education of our products. You guys are in such amazing hands when it comes to the whole team, the corporate team, of course, for the company, but also in the field too, who know so much about not just BioCell, not just shape or not just some of these other products, but a long history of products, decades and decades of building on this foundation of clean label, products. So I'm going to go through a quick training right now, but we're going to build a library, of many trainings to go over so many different products. So why don't we go ahead and get started here? So let me just explain to you what the craze of collagen is all about. The craze of collagen 20 years ago was never even discussed. And the reason why, it's not like people didn't know what it was. I mean, this was discovered a century ago, as a molecule that was important, that built your, building blocks of your connective tissue, but it was never really believed in when it came to ingestible products. And the reason why is because there was never a product out there that could actually show efficacy after ingestion of a collagen material that actually produced more collagen in the body until we came along on the scene. And so that's why the notoriety and why we have the reputation that we have is because it was the first time that anyone saw efficacy, and it was for so many different reasons. So one, just know that collagen is like everything to do with your, like, your building blocks. So think of yourself as like a wall, right? Like a brick wall. All of the building block materials that help you to grow your skin, your bones, your joints, your connective tissue are all based on this super molecule called collagen. And then next you're going to see that there's also other components that are also really important, not just to collagen. But what happens is that you end up growing collagen while you are, growing as a child and everything else. And then what happens is that that collagen breaks down after a certain age. So after your mid-20s or so, when you stop growing, the collagen starts to dissipate. You're not raising it as much as you were. And then there's also other components, other proteoglycans. Hyaluronic acid, for example, is the neighboring cell to collagen. They have a very different purpose. So when people think of our product as collagen, it like makes my blood boil. You know why? Because it isn't collagen. It is actually a single source ingredient that provides structural building blocks, not just collagen, but hyaluronic acid as well, which is what the molecule that holds all of our moisture in our cells. And so that's why we came up with this trademark of collagen HA matrix. And the reason why we did that, the reason why I did that was because I was like, oh my gosh, people cannot be confusing our product as a collagen product. Because if they are, then they're missing the point. They don't truly understand what our product is. So when you take Liquid BioCell, you're actually taking something that has the full picture. And by the way, you can and what competitors have done over time is that they have developed products to add HA to their collagen product or add chondroitin sulfate to their collagen product, only because what we showed was that this single source that we provide in a single ingredient, not a blend, not a formula, people can say that they innovate and things like that. Innovating, it does not mean that you mix one ingredient with other ingredients and say, wow, you came up with the next new invention, right? If you have the chocolate chip, you can't say that you have the next new chocolate chip just by adding some cinnamon powder to it, right? That's different. Like that's like the chocolate chip is the main ingredient here. Here's what we're talking about here is that it actually comprise the original ingredient from a single source, which comes from sternal cartilage of chickens, which is a byproduct, so we don't end up wasting any materials or anything like that. We're actually reusing what's already being used in society and commercial use for foods and things like that. Happens to be the only place in nature that we know of that has the same kind of composition percentage-wise to our own human articular cartilage. Articular just means the joint cartilage that we have is a perfect example. So if you take a sliver of your cartilage, if you were to slice it off, put it under a microscope, you would see that it would be 60-ish% collagen type 2, 20% chondroitin sulfate, and around 10% hyaluronic acid. This ingredient that we use that comes from chicken sternal cartilage actually has that same composition. So if you remove the water from it, it has the same kind of composition as your own human articular cartilage. Sometimes when products work really well, people might not know exactly why they work so well, but it comes down to the fact that your body recognizes materials and is able to readily use it. How do we know this? The reason why is because this has been on the market for over 20 years and it has proven millions and millions and millions of cases. Not only that, but clinical trials which have utilized hundreds of human subjects, randomized, placebo-controlled. And what we found is that not only is it helping you to build up your own structural building blocks of your cartilage and connective tissue. When I say connective tissue, by the way, that means your skin also. So, we actually can reduce wrinkles, with this ingestible because it's actually wrinkles, all the wrinkles are in your skin are just the degradation of collagen molecules in your skin or lack of hyaluronic acid so you don't see it so supple anymore. And so when you rebuild these and you have proof of it, so after ingestion of liquid biocell, you see levels of hyaluronic acid going up by 6,000% in your body. This is incredible because what that means is that you're finally getting like the moisture binding ability back into your connective tissue. That not only is like amazing, from a visible perspective, from your skin perspective, but also think about like the fact if you have any problems moving or if you ever think, um, I'm 50 today, by the way. So like you can't move around as quickly as you used to. But I can tell you right now, as I'm a testimonial, because I was the first one to use the product, right? Um, for over 25 years now. And I will tell you that I'm more flexible, stronger, and more athletic than I've ever been. And that it comes from the flexibility and things like that. Think about your children. They're able to do cartwheels all day long, right? They can jump on trampolines. I took my niece to a trampoline place the other day, dangerous sometimes, but very fun for them. But they can jump around on those things because because they're flexible. That is directly correlated to hyaluronic acid levels in your body. So when people say that they have collagen products, they don't truly understand how important it is that you actually don't just need to support collagen, but you have to support different types of collagen in your body. You also have to support the other cis-string molecules here as well. Chondroitin sulfate, glucosamine, hyaluronic acid, all which is contained within our single sourced ingredient. Okay. And the other reason why it's so effective is that we actually identified a molecular weight that was very important for absorbability of this ingredient as well. So we actually process this with a patented, unique method to bring the molecules down to peptides. So that now people are talking peptides becoming the next, like, I don't know. I get tired of hearing this because I'm like this is an old word. Okay. We came up with peptides 25 years ago. Okay. These are collagen peptides that are being delivered into your body when you take this product. And so when people are talking about peptides, it's mind-boggling to me that it, like, as if someone just discovered this. It's not true. They haven't just discovered this. We've been talking about collagen peptides and peptide therapy since invention and the inception of this product. So we are the original ones who have actually come up with all these kinds of concepts. And I want all of you to go proudly and boldly talking about what this product is, because there's nothing like it. At the end of the day, all that matters is that the money people spend on a product should work. End of story, right? That's it. Nothing else. Not the sexiness, not the marketing, not the hype, nothing else. If it works, then people will take it. And if I were to spend my money on a product, I would spend it on something that had the clinical trials behind it, and make sure that you were delivering value for what your consumers are spending. And in the end, at the end of the day, that's what gives you a viable business. So I want to thank all of you for being on this call today. I'm going to go into deeper dives and trainings in the next several weeks. I can't wait to join you. And I am super excited about the future of Australia and New Zealand. You are at my heart, by the way, like in a huge way. All of you know, whoever knows me, how much I enjoy coming to visit because of your culture, your values, your mentality, the difference in the way that you look at health and wellness. I've learned a lot about the Aussies and Kiwis in their, the recent decades. And I just can't wait to visit all of you again. And until then, I want to see you thrive and build a tremendous business, and I'm here to support you.